What's going on, guys? Sky Pirate Actual here. This is a subject that was brought up quite a bit of time ago on my Instagram, and it was essentially it was stated like this. So, how does civilian training stack up against cartels? Right. I'm not exactly sure what brought on that question, but essentially my answer was unequivocally that it doesn't. Not so much in terms of quality of training that civilians can get here in the U.S. versus what cartels can get. It's more so what you're facing as far as rule sets, right? Because as a civilian in the United States, you are still very much under law. So if you go and you murder somebody, you're still going to go to jail. And then on the other extreme opposite end of that spectrum, you've killed a cartel member, which means the cartel is now probably going to be coming after you and everyone that you know. So that was kind of where my mindset went with that. So yeah, training wise, as far as quality, it may be on par, sure, because we have excess of special forces veterans, infantry veterans, so on and so forth. So we'll go ahead and play this video from Barstool Chicago on a really old event. It was when El Chapo's son got wrapped up, and they were trying to send him to the U.S.
To get worse. They're already killing all these innocent civilians.
Right.
Like they're going to take it to the
It was
next
like-
level.
Yeah.
And it was like a game of chicken, and it wasn't chicken. They weren't playing chicken. They were ruthless.
And they're known for that.
Okay?
Yeah. And it was, they're going after everyone. Okay. Like civilians. But they're also going after the families of people who are in the military. So it was like, and they know, like they,
and that there it is right there. So once again, it's not quality of training. It's a matter of brutality and the fact that they don't have the same rules that we have to operate by, and that goes for military too, right? A lot of the guys wear face masks and balaclavas down there because they don't want their faces seen. There's a reason for that, right? You happen to have your face seen by the wrong member in the cartel, or even somebody that's just looking out for the cartel and they're not even working for them. They let them know who you are. They know who your family is. Your family gets kidnapped, and they're chopping up pieces of your family and sending them back to you via mail. So that's the really harsh problem to face when it comes to dealing with an entity like the cartel.
know everything. They know, if you're a colonel in the military and you're part of this operation who signed off on this, well, guess what? Your house is getting attacked.
Yeah.
And they have so many. There is an estimation that, and we'll get into like the structure of the Sinaloa cartel, that there's like 100,000 members. 100,000. That's a fucking
Big
army.
number.
Okay.
That's a very big number.
That is an absolute shit ton. So they took over this town. They said, I don't know how they came up with the number. They think it was as many as 700 people were causing mayhem in this battle over custody for Guzman.
And so here's the thing too, man, like with numbers like that, it doesn't, if you could throw numbers like that into the meat grinder, and granted, not everybody has to be like super trained. Everyone seems to think like quality is all that matters. I was like, no, when it comes to numbers like that, quantity absolutely fucking matters. So you're talking about you and your neighborhood, and they just keep sending waves of guys that are absolutely armed to the teeth, that don't mind killing civilians and don't care about collateral damage. That's a pretty big that's a very unfair set of rules to play by, or for anyone else to be played against with those rules. Let's continue.
It's not a junior, but El Chapo's son. And then they get up there and they're like, all right, we're just, fuck it. You're released. And the president of Mexico, okay, like the top guy, he's like, yeah, this is great. So his name is Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, and he's like AMLO as his like kind of nickname. So his initials make that acronym. And he said, surely the capture of one drug smuggler could not be more valuable than the lives of innocent civilians. And there's truth to that. Okay. But at the same time, so you have like the president of a country, this is the guy who goes and meets with Biden, and he's met with Trump, and so he's on the world stage and just be like, yeah, fuck it. Like, let the cartels have their guy. Like, that's the official policy of the state, was like, yeah, it's not worth all the carnage. Turn over this guy. And that
is such an extreme level of power. It's not even funny. Right. And obviously this is simply institutional rot at its finest, right? Because you have governments that have been dirty for such a long time, where if this had been caught super duper early, I'm talking a long time ago, like decades upon, 50 plus years ago, if that had been stomped out and quashed early, it might not have gotten to this point. But at this point, anything less than joint, like full military force, you're gonna have a big problem. And once again, it's just because they don't play by the rules, right? Like, everyone's family is free game, everyone's free chicken, if you plan on going against the cartel. So another thing was, some people got pretty butthurt that I said that, and they were like, "Oh, you're a bro vet, you're this, that, and the third." And I'm like, "No," I'm like, "It has nothing to do with that." I was like, "Could the people of the United States absolutely oust almost any oppressor, pretty much any oppressor? Yes, but that America would look extremely different than it does today. It would take a concerted effort on everyone's part to oust whoever the perpetrators are." So with that being said, that's all I'm going to do for my first kind of reaction video. If you guys enjoyed this conversation, go ahead and comment down below, and then like and subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. So I would greatly appreciate it. See you guys later.